Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Tuesday, November the 29th. As you may know, I'll just go over my mistake. We're looking for wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here. I thought we were going quite nicely with the third wave here, looking for a fourth wave to pull back onto the 4,000 and then have another little move up here to finish off, but that's obviously not the case. So there we go. Now there's a couple of things to talk about. We need to talk about the current move down and what that looks like and what that means. We also need to understand, do we need to put a top in place here for this as well? Obviously, let's just talk about this for a little bit. There's a couple of things. On the actual cash market, the SPX, we actually made a top above this one here, right? We made a top above there. On the futures market, I'm talking the December futures market here, we didn't make a high here. When I look at the SPX on the cash market, we can count, let me just get a few things together here. So on the actual SPX here, I'll just get this chart into here because we just need to shoot the breeze about this a little bit. So we're looking for wave 3, 4, and 5 up here for 5. So it's possible to count this on the cash market as 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave, the fourth wave, and the fifth wave. So it's possible to count 5 waves here on the cash market. It's a little bit more difficult to do that on the futures market, and the futures market didn't make a new top here where it did on this market here. So just talking about a little bit. So basically on the SPX, you can count 5 waves up there. On the futures market, it's a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult, but doable as well. You've got to kind of force it in there a little bit. So yeah, we need to talk about, so the futures didn't make a new high here. So does that mean that, do you think that we could put, just shooting the breeze here, do you think we could put wave 3 over here and wave 4 over here, and then look at this here as the A wave here, the B wave over here? I'm just shooting the breeze here a little bit, you know what I mean? I'm just looking at, even though it's bearish, I'm just having a look at, well, what could be the bullish count for this, because currently this down here, and I'm not saying this is true at just this stage, I'm just saying this is the best bet for looking at a bullish pattern here. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'd end up with wave 3 coming into this area down here, and a wave 4, and then a wave 5 coming down to here. So is it possible to look at it all like this here? As because it looks like it's in 3 waves here, doesn't it? You know what I mean? So an A wave, an A, B, C for the B wave, and the C wave here, basically a flat correction with this corrective. I mean, you could get 5 waves out of this as well, but it's it's forcing it a little bit. But anyway, so what I was sort of thinking is that currently we've got 1 and 2 here, and we've got 1 and 2 in here. We can have a look at this a bit later, but let's just imagine that the market comes down into somewhere in here, some balance point in here for the wave 3, and then goes back up and tests supply for wave 4, and then we have wave 5 come to the downside. So this would be the tricky bit here, wouldn't it? Because at this stage, if I can just bring this in, and this will be twofold here. It'll either come in on the low or come in on the 3,900. Now, this is the futures market here, but I normally just use a CFD platform, which is the futures and the cash combined as a CFD product plus fair value, which is a little tricky thing. But anyway, apart from that, so what I'm thinking is that if we get these five, well, if we get these 5 waves, because we don't have them yet, then after 5 waves, we get a correction, right? So we would have an ABC pattern coming in, pulling back up a bit deeper into supply, somewhere across here somewhere, you know, well, yeah, to the 4,000. We could just look at this top move here to, let's just take it down to roughly this one here. So that would leave us basically, we could expect a retest of the 4,000 at that point. Now, so we could either retest here and then move down from that point. That would be the bearish move, and then we'd have to look at this as wave 1 here. But as an A and a B and a C here, this would be the only way that we could look at it being bullish. I mean, you could go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, but we've come down too deep for that. So this would be the only bullish count. So in terms of, once this is, you're probably short at the moment, so you can kind of hang into down here for all of this. Wave 4 will be a bit of a headache, but this would be the safe short position over here, because this would be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave up here. So we could look to short up here as well on all of that. I don't think that you would want to hold through, I mean, holding down through here is good. I mean, if you're trading, you know, E-minis or whatever, you know, CFDs, E-minis, obviously options are a little bit different. But anyway, this is the this is the situation here, right? That said, I do think that, I mean, yeah, otherwise we'll look at this as wave 1, but we're going to keep this and we're going to talk about that along the way, okay? So that's the flip side of the argument. So just, this is where my mistake was at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and have a look at the bigger picture here for a moment. So let's go and have a look at, let's just go back to our weekly chart for a moment here, shall we? So what we were looking at here, even though I didn't get it perfect, I felt like we got it kind of there, and we're not, and it's not over just yet because of that other wave 4 situation that we're looking at. So we can see from the top here to the bottom here, the 4,000 was the 61.8%. So it is possible to look at this situation here now. Let's just have a bit of a look at this. I'll just copy this here. It's possible to, it's still possible to look at it as wave C here, but I'll just push that to the side for a moment. So we're either going to look at this here as, I'm going to make that a little bit smaller, and I'm going to put wave A here as well. That's only fair. And then I'm going to copy this here, and we're going to put this up here, and we're going to look at this as wave 2 and wave B here. So I just want to talk about this for a little moment here. Now, don't think that you're missing anything at the moment, because what we have to do is we have to confirm things, right? So what we have to confirm is we have to confirm that this little move down through here that we're looking at the moment, so I'll just come back to this one for a moment, this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, we need to confirm that really as, just copy that, let's just go for this one, shall we? We need to confirm that as wave 1 and then wave 2 coming back. So now that I've said that, we'll come over here. So this move down here, we still need to come down to these, down to the sort of down into these lows here. So we need to confirm this here as a little wave 1 here, and then we need to look at this as a wave 2 coming back at that point. Okay, so you can see that if this is true, then we need this move down here, and then we need that retest here, and then that would just be 1 and 2 at that point, right? And then we would look at coming down for wave 3, 4 and 5 here for this. So then we'd be down here. That would just be wave 1 at that point, and then we would also come back for wave 2, and then we would have a deeper move down into wave 3 here for this, and then wave 4, and then wave 5. Now the situation at this point is that if this is going to be some type of WXY and this is going to be a B wave, or the C wave down here will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Just have 5 waves down. However, if this is wave 1 over here, this whole move here is wave 1, and this is wave 2 here, well, all of this here is just going to be wave 3, and this wave 3 is going to come down a bit deeper. It wants to be longer than this one here, and then we'll have wave 4 and then wave 5. So they're the two bearish options that I see at this point. So, but either way, they're both quite big, aren't they? So, you know, it's all pretty good if we can nail this down a little bit. We've been looking for it, and even though I didn't get the perfect sort of turnaround at the top here, but it's not quite over yet either, because we'll need to really confirm that wave 1 here. You know, we need to go sort of short under that. I mean, you might be short at the moment. I'm short at the moment. It doesn't, you know, it's not the big issue at the moment. So that's, anyway, that's the bigger picture. Okay. For things. So I think I was working on 1000 ticks here, so I'm just going to cut straight through to this here now. So this is the what I've done here. There's different ways I can look at this situation, but let's just grab this in here. So as 1, 2, 3, 4. In fact, I don't need a lot of this now, and I do need. I'm taking up objects on the chart, but what I do need is I'll need that wave 3 here, and that wave 4. That will be good, and that wave 5 there. That will be good, and I'll just borrow that for a moment, and we'll borrow that, and I don't need these here. Thanks for hanging out while I'm doing the dishes, doing the laundry. Okay, so that's enough, and we don't need those. Okay, so we've got a couple of situations here. I'm just going to copy this over here. That will just help us with this situation, because it really kind of makes a nice A, B, and C wave here. You know, that's what I'm sort of also thinking, and but we'll get to that. We're aware of that now. You know what I mean? That's the important point. So what I've done here is I've just done this in terms of what I've seen on the cash market as 1 and 2 here, and then I've done my best to account for everything in here to have from wave 2 to wave 3, 4, and 5 to have that top there. And we don't know if that's going to be the C wave at that top there, or a B wave at that point, but that doesn't matter at this point. All we need to do is focus on this 5 wave structure here at the moment, so we don't need that. So far as I can see so far, yesterday we counted down here as 5 waves. Okay, we had that on the 100 tick chart, so I don't need to go over that again. That was 5 waves, and then we had the 2 here, and we're looking down for, this is an ABC pattern, but obviously we've got this 1 and 2 for 3rd, 4th, and 5th for 1 here, and then an ABC for 2 here. That's why I'm looking at it so far. I could probably look at it a little bit differently, and then I was looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2, then 1 and 2, and then we've got this 3rd wave here. So I think I've got the right count, because I'm getting this 3rd wave coming in here, and I'm getting it as the 3rd of the 3rd here. So there's going to be, I'll put that up there somewhere, and then this will be down here. This will be a 3rd wave here. We'll probably get this dance at the, so group 2 here is the midpoint here. The 50 is going to be where we're going to see that 3 and 4 play out there. And then we'll see wave 5 come down. Now with this one here, you see perfect place for 3, 4 in all of this mess here. And then we're going to see this come down, you know, lower towards here somewhere. And we'll look at that as wave 1, but we're also mindful of wave 4, so I'll just put that underneath there. And it doesn't really matter what this at the moment. I mean, it's probably wave 1, but I'm just wanting to be a little bit careful about things, you know. So wave B here, and then wave C up here for this. And that could be wave 2 at that point. We know that's roughly the 50-60% retracement level area there. So, I mean, if you're short at the moment, that's all good. So that's the trading levels between 900 and 3.9 and 4 here. We start off at 1, 2, and 3. So you can expect a strong bounce at 3 here. So 39.30, close enough for the time being. And then the midpoint here. so I know I've got that as 1, 2, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's probably, this has probably got to come down a little bit further. You see that little there? That's like a nice strong third wave here. So that fourth wave here, that's kind of interesting, because that's where all the other fourth waves are going to come back to. So we can put a line across there. Now there might be another little move that could go into here at the moment, as I'm a bit unsure about that, about the bit spiky in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and also 2 this week. So Monday, that was Monday just gone, and then we've got Tuesday tomorrow. So we've got consumer confidence tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and then on Wednesday we've got the GDP, we've got international trades, and then Thursday we've got jobless claims. We've got ADP figures on Wednesday too, yeah. So those ADP figures, they will set the tone for the NF non-farm payrolls, which should be on the Friday, which they normally are on that thing, but I don't see them here. So that anyway, there's manufacturing index as well. There's a whole lot of stuff coming out this week. So, and also Jay Powell is having a chin wag on Wednesday afternoon at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, I think, for the US, that is. But anyway, just to let you know, there's lots of things happening. So this is really what we're going to be seeing here. Yeah, I'm just not sure about this little guy. I don't know if that's a 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So it could go to here and then come down to this one, and then go back to this one over here, which will be sort of more sideways. And so there's some time to be spent here with this, and then we go down here for this. No, that's not quite right. I think I need to look at this. Sorry about this. I think I need to put this here as 1 and 2. I could be wrong here about this, but if I label it, and I'm wrong, then at least it gives you a start in the wrong direction. So so that can go there, and that can go over there. That will be here. This is the fourth wave of that one, and then the fifth wave of that one, and then we'll still need the fourth there. So it's still going to get a bit more complicated. So that's going to come down from that to that. So that will be about there somewhere, and this will be that one. So it's going to be, this will also be, it'll be some messy situation like this, you know, and which is natural, because it's going to sort of reflect this here. Do you know what I mean? It's going to mirror that. That's what markets do. This fast move here mirrors this one, you know, this consolidation to this one, and this one to this one. So this is what we'll be looking at, you know, and this sharp move back up here will be this one, and so on, you know, the old head and shoulders and yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, but all we need to do is not to get lost in that. Don't get frustrated and all that kind of stuff. We know that the storm is coming in this area. And we know that there's two things that can be here. It could be a C wave down here for wave 4 and then make new highs at that point, or we need to look at this coming back at this point as the ABC pattern here, and this will also help with the confusion at this point, and then the wave 2 back up here. Yeah, it doesn't have to pull to the 61.8%, but it could pull to it exactly, and all sorts of things can happen. So we need to be a little bit sort of mindful. But in a nutshell, we're looking at this ABC pattern here. Now we could build some positions in up here, right, based on little impulse waves and so on. But for the people that are trading, bigger amounts or looking to place sort of option trades and all the rest of it, it will be this B wave, wherever that is. It probably won't be at that price, but it'll be something like this, But we'll try to build in over here for this, and that's where that will be. So they will be the 5 waves coming down. That's my mud map on the back of the matchbox. So yeah, we don't have to really concern ourselves in here. There's going to be mistakes made in here. You'll make them, I'll make them. But look, when at the end of the day, we'll end up seeing 5 waves here. Unless we need to look at all of this as wave 1 here. That's kind of interesting. Where's that 61.8%? Probably right where it is there as well. Yeah, I thought that would be the case, just to make things nice and easy. But at least it chucks it into the same basket with everything else here. So all of this here is the 50, 60% retracement level area. So that's going to, it's just going to add a bit more weight and credibility to that mess, But like I said, we don't worry about all this too much and sort of figure it out. I mean, it could be just an ABC down to this point here and then move off from that point, So that's possible. Can't rule it out. As all of this is a wave 1 and back for wave 2, that's possible. But I'm not really getting that with the stock market, with Amazon, because we had stocks that were leading us to the downside, and Amazon was one of them. So it kind of puts us on the right track. So anyway, that's where we are at the moment. So we just really need to be, we will sort of really focus in over this side over here. This will be, while we're under this number, we need to be looking for short trades. If we're above this number, we look for long trades. And that way we're on the right side at the right time. And then we can break the problem, the trading levels break the problem down into sections, and the Elliott breaks it down into sections as well. And we'll get there eventually. So we'll end up sort of looking for short trades over here and try to build something in over here. And this will be a series of, like this move from the top here down here. This will also be 5 waves coming down here as well. So we can also wait for that and look for the ABC pattern to come in over here and then down at that point, which will be like this here. See how we got 5 waves here? If you can see those first 5 waves here, then we can short under there. If you can't see that, then we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see the ABC pattern there? This would have been the short trade here, really. So, I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda, all that sort of stuff. But basically that B wave, this 5 waves here, that ABC, this is what we'll be looking for over here. Okay. So just be careful about shorting into here, because you'll just get frustrated at this point. Okay, so enough said on that note. Let's look at the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ, we were looking at it in 2 ways. We were looking at this being a wave 4 here and going up for a wave 5. And we're also looking at it as a wave 1 and 2 here. So it looks like this will be the case here for this. So I won't get into this today. But what we do want to see here is we want to see the 11,500, which is a medium level. We want to see that as the resistance at this point. Okay, so we want to see a pattern like this. We want to see it as the resistance. We want the move down and then the retest. That retest should be on lower volume as well if you want to check on that. And the Russell, we had the Russell already as a short, as a bearish situation. So we already had it with the A, the B, and the C wave here, and we had this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1. At least we did something right. And then looking at this as the A, the B, and the C, but also looking at it as 1 and 2. So yeah, it held up here nicely. So this will be the same here as well. This will be a little wave 1 in here and a little wave 2 in here. And we'll just copy this for the moment. There'll be some sort of wave 3, 4, and 5. So you don't have to do anything just yet, right? All we need to do is to track those 5 waves down, and I need to put them on another level actually. So I'll need to bring that down here and this here. Sorry about that. I'll just make that a bit small. So we're going to look for wave 1 here and wave 2 over here. So this is the number that we want to get. We don't want to be chasing this down here. If you're short already, that's fine. The 1800 is kind of a nice target area. It might not be perfect, but it's close enough. Anywhere between that low and the 1800 would be fine at that point. But it's not. This is not really the one that we want at this point. I mean, once again, this could be an A wave here, a B wave here, and 5 waves for a C wave here, something weird like that. So once we've got that low in here, anything below that will be shortable at that point. But we can get a better position than that. We'll check the retest out, and we can short the B wave and do some other little things. So we'll get much closer to all of this in due course. And the Dow Jones, I'll just clear this up. We were long here, and we talked about the stop there yesterday, so hopefully that's done its job. Yeah, so we were counting up here as 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Such a small 5th wave here, you know. I have to bring that down for that. But still, that's what the banks, US banks, had as well. So once again here, we've got this down as wave 1 here. I'll just take it to that point, and wave 2 here, and I don't think we need these. We can just use these. So we'll be looking for that 3rd wave, 4th, and 5th here to make wave 1 at this point. Might be able to drop that in here. That would make a bit more sense, but I'll have to figure that out. I won't do that just yet without doing it, without working it. So once again here, if you're short already, that's fine. You can stay short, expect a bumpy ride because you're coming into this, and you can get lower. You just have to put up with, you know, a bit of bouncing around. You know, there'll be a 20% to 25% account balance bouncing around, but you should be able to get lower. But it'll be over here that we'll be more interested in, over here for this. I mean, in this case, we've got a better situation for having a bit of a top in there. You know, so I don't think this can be a 4th wave or anything. So I think we're good. I think we're in bearish mode, really. Yeah. Alrighty. The other thing that I wanted to talk about as well, which I didn't, which I want to, I'm just clearing a few charts out the way here. On the left here, I've got a few things now. Let me just get those out the way. Now, one of the reasons for the sharp turn in the market is always follow the money, of course. So yesterday, well, let's just go here for a moment. This is the US dollar. Yesterday with the US dollar, we were looking at, we had wave 3 in here. We called wave 4 in, and it turned down. It happened really fast, actually. I didn't expect it to happen that fast. I thought that it would be at least another half a session or something. but it wasn't the case. So we had wave 3, 4, and 5. So that puts the low in for the US dollar. Now the question is that we'd been tracking it through this wave 3 and 4 here, and then counting down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Didn't quite make a new low here, but we'll have to take that on board. Then we've got, we were counting down from here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I mentioned that, once we do get down here and this starts to move up here, then that's when we're going to see the indices and commodities and all those sorts of things push to the downside at that point. So in the bigger thing here, I had this here as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But once this started, I knew where I was. You know what I mean? All I had to do was count to 5. It wasn't a big effort. But going back into the bigger picture now, just going here for a moment because it's just important to understand this. The 5 waves that we just looked at then was from here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We counted all of that quite well, I thought. It's pretty easy, and we were looking for we were looking at this here as the A wave, well, a WXY here really for the B wave, and then the C wave here coming into the 38.2% retracement level onto the 105 here. This is a CFD product, so it works in the power of 10 or whatever it is. And yeah, so what I don't know is I don't know if this is a wave 3 up here, and I've got wave 4 here, and while we go up here for wave 5, if I can find the S&P again over here, so with the S&P here, I'm just going to go to 200 here and then go to the weekly chart here. And with the weekly chart here, this move that we have down here as wave C, it could be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, which is probably about right. It could be bigger, but having this here as the A, the B, and the C, or just this move down here, while this is happening here, this is what could be happening here for the US dollar. So that's always been the inverse of what I've been sort of working with. But I've never really understood if this is actually an A wave here, or is it wave 1 here? This was my thing. And can we look at this as a 5-wave structure as well? So this has always been a little bit, so I think this is possible where we are here now. Everything matches up with global markets and things, but I don't know if it's true just yet. Do you know what I mean? So then I was looking at this here because we got 5 waves down here, but the third wave was a little bit short and wave 4 overlapped wave 1, so it was very difficult for me to call it 5 waves here. So looking at I could look at the loonie, I could look at anything really, but looking at the US yen here, it's the same pattern here. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looking for that call in there. I've just taken that trend line from the top there, dropped it over here, and looking for it to move on to that really, which is probably not quite spot on there, but reasonably good enough. But you can see here I have 5 waves here and then 5 waves here, so I could look at it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So it's possible that we could look at a bearish, but it does really appear that it's an ABC pattern here as a corrective move. So I'm thinking that because this looks rather corrective here, then it's probable that I've got this right in one way or another. I could drop this over to here, I could do that, but I'll just leave it here for the time being. So I think that I could be on the right track here. So I need to just continue to keep an eye on this, and we'll count this in detail here. But I'm just letting you know that having this as wave 3 here and 4 here, then that will push this up here. Then if that's correct, then I could push this up to here, and then I can push this to here at that point. that wave 1 up there can also be a wave C as well. That's something else we'll have to work through. But yeah, we could have a pretty nice run in the US dollar to the upside here, if that's correct. And that would be if we are on track at the moment, and then this will push down here somewhere. So that's what we're going for. So what we need to do first, as I just mentioned with all of this, is that we need to see if this is wave 1. So we need to wait for the first 5 waves here, which I think is right, and then we can go short under that. That will give us the confidence to come further down at that point. Okay. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. Let's see which way the wind blows, eh? Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.